I'm worried that Drew Doughty's just going to start punching people's kids.
Probably
going to punch people's kids. He's already got Matthew Tkachuk in his crosshairs.
Tyroning, baby. Look
Tyroning. You're next.
Hide your Tkachuk. Hide your kids.
Oh, we get a lot of shots. Everybody come to their net. We just have to get more and more pucks to their net.
We used to talk about in Vancouver getting pucks on net and
pucks on net.
Well, that's the key. We got to get the puck on net.
What were you saying about putting pucks on net?
Continue to put pucks on net and
it's just getting pucks on net.
Pucks on net and driving and making it a hard night on them.
Live on tape from Gita's apartment. Once again, her palatial estate on the 23rd floor. This is Pucks on Net, a Vancouver hockey podcast that doesn't talk about fantasy or fancy stats. We don't talk about that, but more importantly, we've got a full bench. It's been a while, fellas and lady.
We're all back from our various Asian adventures.
You didn't go.
I wasn't in Asia.
Neither was I.
Neither were you.
Yeah,
South Pacific adventures.
Well, you know what they say. They say that Kamloops is the Taipei of British Columbia.
I believe I've heard that before.
That's true. That's on
what
the
did you used to call it? The Chinese Taipei?
Chinese Taipei. I think they own.
That's what they used to call it in Softball City when they would play the Chinese Taipei team would come to
Hand
town.
me my cell phone. I want to show you what I found in the middle of nowhere, Fiji.
Is that your phone there?
Oh, my work phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe that Kamloops actually is believed to be the center of the universe amongst some Buddhists. I'm
Really?
not even joking.
Check that out.
Let's see. The phone's going around, Dave. What do you see?
I see a tent that says People's Republic of China on it in the middle of Fiji.
What a throwback. Oh.
That looks like one of those Cobra tents from G.I. Joe.
Hang on. It says it's an Airbnb. It's $100 a night. Jeldon will meet you and at a coffee shop nearby and give you the keys. Totally not a catfish scam.
Oh.
Right.
Right. 1-star review.
The catfish is available at the restaurant next door.
It's a good it's a good fish. It's a good fish dish.
It's a very nice cooking catfish.
I thought it was the Chinese embassy in Fiji.
Thanks for joining us, wherever you guys wherever you get your podcast from. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at PucksNetCA or PucksNetCa. I'd just like to state that Dave, Dave hasn't, actually nobody's been on the podcast for about 2 weeks.
You took the podcast on the road, bud.
I feel bad.
Podcast in a bag.
It's
It's Ryan's suitcase.
You know how I have to take two sets of luggage, 2 bags on the road. One of them is full of 11 pairs of underwear because you don't know how long a 7-game series is going to be. The other one is full of audio equipment and pucks. You know how heavy that is? Like I lug that all the way through.
You're
the
like a diva too with all that extra.
It's a
luggage.
good thing you didn't have to check it to a flight to Medicine Hat.
I don't think podcast in a bag would be able to be checked. It looks like a bomb.
Don't say bomb on an airplane.
Yeah, no.
Can you look at this? There's all these wires.
Stop! You're gonna have to edit this out. You will be on a no-fly list.
Who's got more luggage? You or a tugboat? I imagine Tyler doesn't travel light.
Hard to say. Actually, no. I had the most luggage. Everybody kind of has that army bag over.
Well, what about Stu? He's got suits and suits.
Well, Stu is a fancy boy.
Right.
He is a fancy boy. That's a good-looking man. That Stu Walters.
Handsome man.
Also, I assume thank you, Stu, for filling in.
Yeah, we got the Black Aces filled in, and now that we have sponsors, we gotta.
Do they have corresponding team members? Like who is replacing who?
None of them. Everybody seemed pretty happy to be there. Grant kind of came in like a lot.
I didn't say
that's
they
not
weren't.
what he meant.
Who were they replacing? Which one of us?
Yeah, who was the equivalent? It's Stu Gita.
Stu would be Gita. No,
because he's pretty.
Yeah.
Simon would have been you because you both have glasses, and then we'll say Grant came in to replace Dave because he was coming in spinning alternate takes. I thought he personally felt like I was talking to a Washington lobbyist, where he's like, "Willie D's doing a great job," and I go, "No, wait,
what?
Wait."
Yeah, but I would never say anything like that.
We'll talk about that in a second. Make sure you subscribe.
Hey! Michael Chaput, 1 point in 12 games playing with 2 future Hall of Famers, the Sedin twins. Why wouldn't you break that up?
Wow, we were talking about lines over dinner, and even Brock Besser. Why not try him out with the Sedins?
Why not
his
try
style of play as a right-hand shot going to the net?
Why not try anybody at all? Hey, we have that first-round draft pick that we traded for. Yannick Hansen gets traded for a guy who can score.
Oh, yeah, we should put
and
the
can
game
skate. and do all these other things. But hey, let's not play him with 2 skill players. Let's not play him at all.
Well, he doesn't have enough grit. And there's one thing you need from a pipsqueak Russian is more grit and hard in the dirty area.
If we don't add more grit, we're going to finish 20 points out of the playoffs instead of 18.
So Willie is absolutely coming back next year, right?
Oh, hell yeah. With this decision making.
Solid as a rack.
Iraq, like the war?
Yeah, I didn't say rock. I said shaky as hell.
He's throwing a lot of players under the bus as of late. He's publicly upset.
Is he shaming people?
He kind of is shaming Goldobin, and he's like, yeah, he wants a harder, more sandpaper.
It doesn't matter what Willie wants at this point.
He's soft like vanilla yogurt. He's not going to be sandpaper.
If you want to blame guys, maybe you should blame the guys that were here when things started to turn bad, and not like, the guys who've just come into a dumpster fire.
That's everybody.
You want to point fingers? Maybe you point fingers at the guy who played Michael Chaput with the Sedin twins for a month.
I'd like to just
ridiculous
on another,
and it wasn't like it was having success.
No, not at all. It's as bad as the Brandon Sutter on the power play experiment.
Oh, he's a right-hand shot.
He's a specialist, guys.
So is Brian McGrattan. He's a right-handed shot too. Let's try him out.
I'm surprised they didn't
Does
trade
he still
for
play?
He does. No, he doesn't. But we can't shit on him because he does very good things with the NHLPA with substance abuse and addictions. So
okay.
Who?
Brian McGrattan.
Oh, I'm not shitting on Brian McGrattan. I'm just saying he'd be as useful as Brandon Sutter on the first power play.
Yeah, you can't. That was his answer in that post game. Why do you keep going to Brandon Sutter? And was it Jason Magna? Is that right? Is he right? Yeah. I can't even remember.
Those are the only 2 names I managed to learn.
Right-hand shot. And that was his only reasoning. It's like, well, you can't. It's great. It's great if you have a right-hander.
Sorry, Dave, you seem to be caught off guard by something there.
No, that was funny. Gita made it funny.
Those are the names I know.
I know those guys.
These are my guys.
It's just, it is curious when you're,
You're not a big Drew Shore guy yet?
Not a...
But no, I meant
I don't
Willie
even know,
hadn't learned their names yet.
I know
Molino.
I know why he's there. I like Griffin Molino.
Molino's been going to the net too, kind of like. I'm not saying he is Brock Besser, but he's been going to the net, which isn't a common thing amongst Canucks players.
He needs to land somewhere between Brock Besser and Mike Zalewski, and he seems to be landing right in the middle, which is just fine.
They gave him jersey number 13 after making everybody wear camp numbers all year.
6 and 13. They're just, that to me means that they really do think, like, I know that because of the rules with the PA, he has to play in the NHL. He's not eligible to go to Utica at all.
Okay. Wait, who are we talking about?
Griffin Molino.
Okay.
Now,
new guy.
This is a guy that came from Europe.
If he's if Molino, you've been in Fiji.
College signing.
If Molino was the kind of guy that they're going, yeah, you're going to be here for like 6 games because we have nowhere else to put you, and then you're going to be buried in Utica next year.
Yeah.
Camp number. They seem to think that he's a player. And from the 2 games that I saw this weekend, yeah, Paul and I saw both. Oh my goodness.
He's not amazing, but he's better than a lot of these plugs they've had in the well, I was going to say bottom 6, playing through the bottom 9. Well, no, that still includes the Sedins.
Here's my hockey expert fantasy stats explanation of what I saw from Griffin Molino. Mm-hmm. He did stuff.
Really? Stuff?
Stuff. You know who else did stuff? Brock Besser did some stuff. You know who didn't do any stuff?
Chaput.
Nobody else.
Oh, I thought that was your segue into...
The Sedins tried to do some stuff.
But, I mean, they're still... I don't have anything against them, but they should get a better line.
Oh, there was Drew... Who has that haircut?
That's Goldobin.
That's Goldobin.
Oh.
And he's playing with the Sedins apparently tonight. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts. One shift.
We're watching. We
can't break up that Chaput combination. It's working for us.
Just in sense of where we're recording at 7:35. The Canucks and Sharks game here on Tuesday is just starting.
Yeah.
So my prediction is Goldobin won't be on the Sedins line by the end of this podcast
because he scores a goal.
Like first period.
He won't score the right kind of goal.
We don't need that kind of showboating on a Willie D team. I really like Jason Magna. I like how he hits the goalie in the chest. He gets a scoring chance. He feels good. I feel good. We all feel good. Everybody wins.
And this is coming.
I didn't know there was so much hate for that poor guy.
And this is coming from Dave, who's actually a Magna supporter. I felt
I'm a Magna maniac.
But like you were up to, and I was to an extent, but not as far as you, where you were like, you know what? And he has been used in positions that he shouldn't be in. Part of that's Willie's fault.
Again,
as a fourth liner, I don't have a problem with him. And at the rate they got him for next year, I don't have a problem with that either. It's a one-way deal, which is a little, but...
Yeah, but it's a one-way deal at no cost. And here's the thing, kids out there, and I know that the internet really likes to hate on Jason Begna.
They really
do.
It's really fun. It's low-hanging fruit.
And here's why they hate him. They hate him because he's getting first-line minutes.
Right.
If you watch him play, if you go to the game and you take off the I hate Jason Begna glasses,
right,
and you just look at a hockey player doing hockey player things, he skates very well. He skates with the puck very well. He passes the non-fancy stat eye candy test that he looks dangerous out there. He looks like I could do. So what I'm saying, he's like 24.
Yeah.
It's kind of next year is like we're going to know what he's going to be. He's either going to score 15 goals and 35 points.
Yeah.
Or he's not, and then we know that we've got nothing. But put him on the third line, spare him a little bit of power play time, but nothing steady, and just keep the expectations low. He might get you 14 goals playing against the third pair of defense.
But he's being played out of his element.
With the Sedins against guys like Drew that I'm going to punch your son Doughty.
No, as a fourth liner, I think that's fine. I'm totally fine with
He's a
Begna
bottom six guy who can skate, kill penalties, and maybe bag you goals.
It's a lot like Lucas Spiza, I think, where people crapped on. Spiza was the guy last year, and Spiza is a very good bottom pairing defenseman.
I love him now. You see, he's a comical guy in the room.
And he's been better this year.
He stands up for teammates. He's the one fighting.
He's going to
He
Las
wants
Vegas.
to go to the Olympics.
If you're playing...
Yeah.
Spiza wants to go to the Olympics?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he came out and said something about that being a stupid
He's already asking
decision.
George McPhee if they'll let him go next year.
Oh, wait, I don't know where McPhee is GMing anymore.
Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Spiza would
I was
be
like,
actually,
isn't everyone in Washington
that's
going?
That's not sarcasm. Spiza would be a very good pickup for Vegas. That's a good bottom six defenseman that you're going to get for free.
They're going to have a bunch of bottom six defensemen. They're going to have
bottom
a whole
pairing?
bottom six of the... Yeah,
your bottom six also happens to be your top six.
Yeah, and that's going to be all of the LA Kings.
But Vegas is going to be good for about 2 years. They'll be decent, and then because they have no prospect pool at all, they'll run into problems. It happens all the time.
You can usually make it to the Stanley Cup Finals in your third year.
Florida
Panthers.
But Dave, you mentioned something about having I hate Jason Begna glasses on.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering where you could buy those.
You can buy them at the Canucks team store.
Yep.
They're right next to the Jake Virtanen jerseys.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, and the Canucks gave up a goal 18 seconds into the game.
But
top line, too.
You're not going to find them where you can buy regular glasses, is what I'm saying.
Oh, can you get them at Image Optometry?
Yeah.
No.
But because I'm thinking I want to buy some.
You wouldn't want to buy those glasses.
Paulie, do you want to take this one?
Well, you want to buy real glasses so you can see better.
You can see Jason Begna doing those smart hockey things that Dave was just talking about.
Yeah, that's what I do. I need glasses because I sit up in the top of the arena, up in the rafters. You know what?
I feel like you have to wear unbiased glasses.
And you know where you get good unbiased glasses?
Where?
Hey, you know what? With all the options out there, why is it so many people, including local sports pros and PMAC on the street, PMAC in the rafters at Rogers Arena, trust their eyes to Image Optometry? Could be those online prices with bricks and mortar service. Could be the direct billing.
What is going on?
And I could have seen that goal coming from a mile away if I was wearing... Canucks just gave up another goal. Could be that direct billing, or it could be that they're the only ones to offer a doctor's eye exam.
He doesn't want to get put in the game.
He doesn't need glasses because you can see how upset Ryan Miller is. They just scored. PMAC.
You know who's not paying the bills right now on this podcast? Ryan Miller. So let him sit there and grimace on the bench.
However, if he wanted to sponsor the podcast, we would read the Ryan Miller ad.
That's true, but he didn't. So, hey, it could be that they're the only ones. This is still Image Optometry.
36-year-old veteran goaltender, been to 2 Olympics. Looking for work, folks.
Longest read ever.
Hi-ho, Silver, it's Ryan Miller.
Can you tell that we haven't seen each other in a while?
Okay, guys. It could be that they're the only ones to offer a doctor's eye exam and a complete select pair of glasses for just $6 million a year over 3. Oh, wait, no, that's $89.95. That was the
and
Ryan
a no
Miller.
trade clause.
It's the Ryan Miller draft we had. Sorry, for $89.95. That's a really good deal, guys. I've bought glasses. I've spent
Ryan Miller for 80. Oh, sorry, glasses. Yeah.
Glasses, an unbeatable deal that'll ensure you catch your next match in glorious HD, or if you're Ryan Miller, you catch that next shot that comes out after you, and then the other 39 that follow in the next 60 minutes. I mean, what else would you expect from the most affordable eye care chain in British Columbia? Image Optometry, not Ryan Miller, the official eye doctors of the Canucks. Online at image.ca. Or imagine more for less.
Well, that read's done. I guess the show's over now. That only took 15 minutes.
God.
Oh, I gotta.
You're welcome, Dr. Brad.
North Delta, baby. So
ND.
I'll
see you at the Sundowner Pub or in the Watershed.
But seriously,
or
thank
at the Krispy Kreme.
Or at the Pepperoni Cafe. Other hot spots. Scottsdale Mall.
So really, Image Optometry is the place to be.
My house's old pool. So much vomit.
Is that still there, or did they fill it in?
No, they filled that baby, and no one's getting a pool anymore. And I'll tell you why. Because our parents would go out of town in the wintertime. They like our mom and dad. They liked Las Vegas.
And you lords of Dogtown the out of that thing.
And Mexico. So when they were out of town, like we'd have these like little polar bear swims at my place, where we'd crank the fucking pool until it was like 100 degrees, like a giant hot tub. And it's like if you looked at the hydrometer on the smart meter on the side, it's just spinning
like they think you gotta grow up.
like your favorite CD. Oh yeah, they send the cops. They do a drive-by, look for plants. It's just a bunch of kids. Ooh, they got the pool open. Let's go.
We won't tell your parents, but we're going to have to go in for a quick little dip here.
Yeah, all right. Well, ooh, that's very balmy.
So I just have a quick tale because I have a history of saying dumb things to esteemed coaches.
Oh, okay.
Like when I ran into Don Hay after a big win against Medicine Hat, and he's just like, "Are you doing tonight?" I'm like, "Doing pretty good, bud," and just kept on motoring and not say anything about his great game.
Yeah.
So we're tearing down after Kelowna beats Kamloops. They beat him in 4 games or 6 games, and I see Jason Smith is now the head coach of the Kelowna Rockets.
Wait, former Oilers captain. Did you make him cry?
No.
That's Ryan Smith. Jason was the stoic one. That's why they gave him the C.
I'm just here to play hockey.
Smith with an I.
Yeah, legitimate spelling of
Chip
Smith.
off the glass, elbow in the sternum, the Jason Smith way.
Okay.
He was the antithesis of Flash.
Big 25? Was it 25?
I think
he
so,
was a box factory of a hockey player. So boring.
So this box fact, we're tearing down. He's just won, and he's coming towards me. I'm carrying cables, and he's got 3 slices of pizza on a plate. He's got
paper plate,
and he's got a 4th one going, and he's just going hard. And I walk past him like, "Oh yeah, I see you get pizza if you win, huh?" And all he says is with a mouthful of pizza, "Oh, I love pizza." He just keeps on walking.
How's he holding up post playing career? Is he still looking okay?
He actually looks pretty good.
So the pizza's not sticking in.
From a handsome standpoint, yeah, he doesn't look like he's driving 4 slices in him a night, but that's just celebratory pizza. There may or may not have been a mumps scare that I may or may not be able to talk about. But if I get
this podcast is going to catch it, isn't it?
Maybe. No, I'll do it.
You know what time you get the steam cleaners coming in tomorrow?
If I got I've been feeling my jowls ever since, just being...
Well, when we had it at the Canuck game, I actually legitimately tried to get out of my shift.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was going to Burma like the next day.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how much worse the mumps would be festering in that petri dish of an airplane?
Oh God! Well, I did get sick on the way home with the flu. I got some kind of Chinese superbug on the way home.
I'm starting to get a sore throat.
Airplanes
suck.
I lost 11 pounds that I didn't have to lose. It was a rough trip.
You look great.
Yeah.
That was just the plane trip?
Well, yeah. I was sick on the plane, it was terrible. I've never had to go number 3 on an airplane before.
Oh no!
I don't know what that is.
That's the pukies.
Oh, I thought you meant diarrhea.
No.
Oh.
No, that's just number 2 with feeling.
Or no feeling.
Number 2 with gusto.
Speaking of gusto, I'm starting to have we're lifelong Canuck fans, and we've been trained to hate the Calgary Flames, and that team.
I'm a member of the unbiased media.
Right? Yeah, with your glasses.
Yep.
I'm slowly starting to have a guilty pleasure for those Calgary Flames, and I'm just wondering if you're starting to.
Nope.
They got that lunch.
Can't do it.
Really?
Too many guys on that team I still hate.
Who do you hate?
Who do I hate? Matt Stajan.
Why?
I don't know.
Yeah. I like Matt Stajan, former Leaf.
I don't
He's got
like-
such a baby face.
I don't like Troy Brower either.
No.
Well, he sounds mean and
That's
aggressive.
that's because of the Blackhawks.
Okay.
And he's North Delta's favorite son, and it should be me. So it's the logo though. You're right. It's ingratiated into me. It's ingrained in me. Yet because the Oilers were harmless for so many years, and also because the Oilers were the playoff team of choice in Vancouver during the Messier years, because that's what during those same years, Messier was leading the Canucks into the abyss.
The Jason Smith years.
The Oilers were playing the Dallas Stars in these epic playoff series every year.
Yeah.
So I kind of started to really like the Oilers at that time. I still now with McDavid and my renewed love of Milan Lucic. And Zach Cassian and the other doofuses, Patrick Maroon.
Do you want to hear my impressions of the three doofuses?
What?
Please.
Okay, give me the first name.
Zach Cassian.
Oh.
Patrick Maroon.
Oh.
Milan Lucic.
Oh.
And you know what the sound of that is? That's the sound of a division championship.
Oh,
We're just gonna make room for Connor. You touch Connor, we're gonna kill you.
I'm Milan Lucic. I've had a septum problem for most
There's
of
a
my
casino
life.
in the new rink now. I'm waiting for Errol to show up.
That guy, I've been looking for him for 10 years.
I'm at the $10 blackjack table.
But I want to get your take because Matthew Tkachuk is causing some shit. What's Dave doing?
Oh, I got a text from China Dave.
PMAC.
The softball roster is shaping up nicely.
It's a Shady Beetles are looking good this year.
Looking real good lineup.
But PMAC, I want to get your take on Matty Tkachuk right now because this is a rookie. This is, you always remember the tale of Sean Avery being a shitbag rookie trying to beak off at Joe Sakic and then his own teammate Brett Hull saying, you do not get to speak to Mr. Sakic that way. So there's that old boys club of there's a way for rookies to act, but he's going after somebody that's not necessarily a choir boy and Drew Doughty. Okay. And I'm just curious, PMAC, how you feel about a rookie acting with such gumption like Matthew Tkachuk.
So it's more just the question of whether a rookie can do it as opposed to a veteran?
A rookie's not following the unwritten rules of hockey and being a rookie.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
I'll give you my take on it while PMAC ponders it.
Well, I want to make sure, we're not talking about whether or not we like what he's doing. We're talking about
we can talk about that
of whether or not
what he's doing.
Veteran players should have the ability to do certain things and rookies not have the ability. Like I feel like there's different conversations.
Is he
to be had
doing
there.
anything wrong?
Not
in the written
really.
rules.
I kind of like it because he hasn't done anything malicious.
Yeah.
In the written rules, he's not doing anything
Then
wrong.
establish yourself. If that's who you are,
And
why pretend to be something else?
I love it.
I
love it.
really do too.
I love it because he's shaken up the establishment. You know what? His team's battling for a playoff spot. It's kill or be killed. And then he doesn't have time to worry about ruffling feathers. He's got to get on the goddamn forecheck.
Well, and it's Drew Doughty who isn't exactly the nicest guy on or off the ice.
Yeah, you know what? And the LA Kings can really take a page out of his book because if they had played with half the intensity that kid and that team is playing with right now,
they'd be in a different place.
They wouldn't be in this mess.
Yes.
But so for the LA Kings to go, he's kind of a dirty player. I'm like, no, he just beat you to the puck because he wanted to get there, and you took an elbow to the chop. So shut.
Plus, he's like 18. He's going to. He's half everyone else's age. He's a child. He's our child.
I think Doughty's just mad because Tkachuk hit him and then went, that was on fleek. What up?
It's like, what does that mean? I should know what these young kid words mean.
Why did he rip off the sleeves of his jersey to show off his art?
I like what he's doing, and he hasn't done anything to hurt somebody. He hasn't tried to take somebody's head off, and he's not exactly going after, players that don't deserve it.
But he's yapping, and that's what they don't like. He's getting into the scrum first. He's putting a glove in your face, and he's yapping and he's talking, and they're like, "How dare he?" I'm like, Do you know who I am? I'm Drew Doughty.
Can you imagine Milan Lucic? How dare that boy?
How dare that? Well, I never. I'm Milan Lucic, and I have a Stanley Cup, and I've won other things, I'm sure.
Brad Marchand. The nerve of that Matthew boy.
I waited 2 years before I submarined anybody, which he did, actually.
Yeah.
No, but it's this whole like hockey thing where you're supposed to keep your head down and keep your mouth shut and your eyes open and your ears open in the first year.
It's 2017.
Are you talking about Willie D's team?
This is the if it was Willie D's team, he'd be scratched because he's got to earn it. Michael Shapp would be playing ahead of him. PMAC, like, what do you think this is like an old school, new school thing?
I mean, I think to a certain extent there is like a respect factor with younger, or should be with younger players, but like that's more with like what you say to them, not necessarily how you play.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem. I mean, he has been throwing some hits that are maybe a little iffy. I'm not in favor of anything that's sort of
toeing the line a little.
Putting anybody at risk of being seriously injured. But yeah, if you're playing an edgy, gritty game, go for it. But yeah, I mean, if you're, I don't know. You have to hear what they're saying on the ice. Like, I don't know. I don't think all of it's bad, but there'd be a certain point where. But I still think there should be respect amongst the players just in general. It's a little more than it has been, but I'm not a player. So, I mean, Dave can probably speak to that more than I can. Guys talk shit on the ice. And
it's tonal. Like, it's weird. Like, we had a game, again, like, this is totally not on the same level, but we had a game the other night that got out of hand scoreboard-wise. But
okay.
Where we beat a team up pretty bad. We ended up beating them by double digits.
Yeah.
But it was the way that we went about it and the way that they went about it that kept everything really fun and okay, and there was no bullshit. We didn't celebrate goals, we had a good sense of humor about it. Like if they hauled us down and got a penalty, it was like, well, you got to do something, like it wasn't like they took a lot of tripping and hooking.
But there's that two-way street of respect.
There was respect. Like we were not going out of our way to embarrass them, and they weren't going out of their way to try to get vengeance on us for scoring goals. It was all very politely handled. I think, Matthew Tkachuk in games like this right now that are close and contentious, the tone is different in these games. It's and it's Calgary. It's not like they have veterans who can go stir the pot.
Yeah.
They're a young team.
Yeah.
They're going to have Sean Monahan go in there and put a glove in Drew Doughty's face.
Hi, Drew. Yeah. I don't care for your actions.
Like, they don't have a lot of Dennis Weidman can't touch anybody because he'll get suspended.
Exactly.
So, if you want to get the linesman roughed up, that's who you call Dennis.
Yeah, he'll rub him out, baby.
But, yeah, you don't want Johnny Gaudreau, hitting people. He's only 10 years old, so he's playing the role like he's his dad. Okay, like he's his father. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I hated his dad, but again, only because he played for Winnipeg and scored a lot of goals against Vancouver.
Yeah.
I take a step back and I watch Keith Tkachuk play in highlights. I love the way he played. He was straight up, hard-nosed.
Hockey's a tough game.
Physical without being dirty. A little cocky, but I like it.
Kind of sounds like his kid. Shit apple doesn't fall far from the shit
tree. And there's another Tkachuk coming, apparently, and he's going to be the best one of them all.
A center.
Ooh.
Next year.
Might look good in blue, green, and white, just saying.
I love that. Okay.
I was just going to say, the other point to bring up out of that is I think he's got an advantage over a lot of young players, or a disadvantage depending on how you're looking at it, where he comes in as Keith Tkachuk's son. There's a name on his back, and I think he probably has had to deal with a lot of guys through junior, I'm sure, that just run him because of the name on his jersey.
But what kind of chirp can you really come up with? Hey, your dad scored 500 goals.
Well, I mean, you go the other way where it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, you're only here because of your last name if you're talking about, I don't know what. But
and you score a bunch of goals.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, though. That might have been the motivation there.
People go after him so that the headline read like Keith Tkachuk's son injured for the season by Jimmy Joe John, whatever.
I love Jimmy Joe John.
Medicine Hat Tigers.
Is he draft eligible this year?
Yeah, he is.
In the seventh round, the Vancouver Canucks draft from the Medicine Hat Tigers, Jimmy Joe John. Left defense, Jimmy Joe John.
I think by having that attachment, you would probably potentially have a chip on your shoulder just because of who your dad is, but also you might need to do that to this point in his career just because of who his dad is. So I mean, there's other factors that have made him into the guy he is right now, and on that Flames team, he's probably got to be that guy. even if he's not, whatever.
Well, no, they got
up in the ranks.
Was there a void on that team for someone in this role?
I think there was for sure.
You don't think Ferland was enough?
But he could.
No.
He can only play fourth line. He can hit. He can't. He's not a goal scorer. But like Matthew Tkachuk can do
all of it.
He can score beautiful goals and then punch Jake Muzzin in the face. Or
Ryan just hit the nail on the head. Is that they didn't have it in their top 6. They do now.
Yep.
And now they have somebody that can play top 6 minutes with one of the little guys and create some room out there and rub somebody out if they're a little too close to Johnny Hockey.
That top 6 has got a lot of small guys in it, so they need room. Like guys like Backlund and Gaudreau, like they're not the biggest guys in the league, right? So, and Christopher Stieg, and they're small. Calgary's little up front,
right?
So yeah, this is good, and it's all shaping up for the greatest thing that ever happened.
Oh yeah,
Oilers Flames.
Oh man, it's an '80s revival. Break out the cocaine.
Oh, Battle of Alberta.
Yeah,
that's the local commercial that runs in Edmonton.
Battle of Alberta.
Dave, I know you like to speak on behalf of the podcast.
Congratulations! You had a problem with the Jason Megna thing?
No, not.
So like
I've been waiting for a while to say that. Because there's a lot of times when you speak on behalf of the Pucks on Net crew.
I like to think that I'm the spokesman of Pucks on Net Nation.
And I'm just like, Dave, I don't always share your opinion.
Now, is it just Jason?
I'm going to do Pucks on Net crew except Gita for every single tweet now.
I don't want to be in there either.
I thought that one was pretty funny because it's like...
You knew what I was doing there.
Fan favorite?
Even Jason Megna knew what I was doing there.
Fan favorite? Really? Oh, wait. I know what he's talking about.
Sass.
I'm sorry, but do you think ever in his life Jason Megna thought that he would be in a poll question with Hitler and then win?
Wait, well, what happened?
Oh, that was bad.
Arguably, Pucks on Net's favorite listener, Squampton, had a poll question about who would you...
Ryan speaking on behalf of everybody again.
Well, Gita brought it up. What was it? If you could go back in time and kill one
I'm
person?
a Pagani man
that's
myself.
Exactly.
It was if you could go back and kill one person.
If you could go back in time and kill one person.
I'm a fan of any Pucks on Net fan who lets any one of the Pucks on Net people sleep on their floor.
What about the ones that bring us all this Hawaiian treats?
Yeah, she's okay.
Anyway.
Wow.
Whoa. Anyways, Jason Megna won.
All of our fans are amazing.
What's wrong with people? Jason Megna is a fine hockey player, and I actually really mean that. I hope he Dale Weises everybody. I hope he goes somewhere else and does well for a period of time and then gets too big for his britches and his career falls apart. Just like Dale Weiss.
That's what we're hoping for Megna.
Dale Weiss's biggest mistake was reading his own headlines.
Dutch Wayne Gretzky.
They're starting to think I'm good. I am good. Oh, I'm not good anymore. Uh-oh.
Well, Billy thinks that Megna's good.
I don't know if he thinks he's good. I just don't think he doesn't like anybody else.
When Willie starts coaching in Switzerland next year, he can take Jason Megna with him.
Willie's getting a job.
He's going back to Medicine Hat.
How are the Tigers doing? Are they struggling?
They're in the second round.
They don't need a new coach.
Yeah, they're fine.
So if you want to interview Willie Desjardins once the Canucks season is eliminated or is over, you can find him in Medicine Hat at the arena.
Why are we watching the middle?
I don't know. This is your
TV. Automatically switched over to, is this Ray Romano's series?
No, it's just Patricia Heaton's. And I don't know why it's still in my thing. It was an accidental preset, and then now it's stuck, and I record it every week.
Apologies.
Oh, jeez.
I think we found a Gita's Guilty Pleasure show.
It's not, though. That's the problem.
So there was a rash of Gordie Howe hat tricks last week in the NHL.
I don't know how this happened. I mean, I didn't know Yannick Hansen could fight.
He's fought before.
But he's done it. One more before we go about Gordie Howe.
He was one of those guys who used to fight Calgary all the time.
And he would just kind of he would fight Johnny Gaudreau or something.
Yeah, why not?
Oops.
That's standard definition.
Yeah, image optometry wouldn't like this one.
One thing I wanted to say about Michael Chaput and why he's on our shit list is because he might have injured Joe Thornton for the extended period of time.
Oh, no.
There goes the first round draft pick for Vancouver Canucks.
There was an audible gasp.
Maybe they'll win in spite of it.
There was an audible gasp amongst the 7,000 people that actually showed up to the game on Sunday.
And all you hear is, first round draft pick, damn it.
God, man, no.
So not only is Chaput taking the ice time of some sort of Goldobin or Brock Besser or Reed Boucher or anybody else, he also
just took away the first rounder.
Yes, so he can go on the enemies list.
In non-Canucks news.
Yeah.
Because this is feeling a little Canucks-centric.
I was going to say, what about that Chaput viral video? Did you guys see that?
No.
The little kid that got to go to his first Canucks game.
Was that Michael Chaput?
Oh, yeah, and it was
and they let him play. Yeah. No, like the parents told.
Willie's like, I think he'll be good with the
Shabu-
Twins. Are you right-handed?
Shabu was his favorite player.
Yeah.
No.
They told this kid like
Poor kid's
2 weeks in
born
advance.
today.
We're taking you to the broccoli farm in 2 weeks.
What the f*** was
Because
that?
he hates broccoli, and the whole time he was pouting and being like a jerk.
I
And
thought
they
that
get
was
to this
like-
parkade, and they open up a sign they made for him that said like "Go Shapu" or something, because it's his favorite player. And he was like, "What is this? Why would I need this at a broccoli?" And then they were like, "You're going to the Canucks game," and he freaks out. And then the interview after was like, "Why is Shapu your favorite player?" They said it in a nice way, I'm sure. "Why is Shapu your favorite player?" And his mom said he really likes the word poo. Legitimately, that is the story. Not making it up.
Womp, womp, womp.
So back to Gordie Howe hat tricks.
Sorry. Or Dave had a point. I didn't mean to.
Well, I just
before
we were
moved away.
done the Gordie Howe hat tricks, and I realized it's boring and no one cares. Jerome McGinley got one at 39 years old.
I think that's the record for oldest one ever.
Oh, great. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you play way past your prime.
McGinley also just passed Sakic, or at least tied him for. Did he pass him, or I can't even remember now what it was. Joe Sakic for goals all time, and he was pretty stoked about that.
Let's talk about Eddie Lack.
No rings for Jerry.
Is he okay?
He had like a light sprain. Did you see the video?
No, I saw
It wasn't on
I
the front
don't-
page of the Fiji Times?
Yeah.
Does it matter anyway? Because he's probably played himself out of the league at this point in his career. I don't see him getting another
He
chance.
had been playing pretty well 2 or 3 weeks before that.
But it's
happened.
so sporadic. And most of the time, he's great highlights for getting beat by other players.
Falling around.
He really sells it when they go around him.
Is it because he's on a shit team?
That's how. Is he doing what Trevor Kidd does? The way you told me how to play third base?
Yeah, that's right. Windmill that shit. When you get beat and that ball gets by you, we better see some effort that you laid out for that. Trevor Kidd all the way. Trevor Kidd always looked like he tried his hardest to stop shots. Eddie Lack's got a little bit of that in his game right now. I think that Jim Benning
another
and
Carolina Hurricane
and all the brass or was it Gillis that made that decision to? No, it was Benning who traded
Benning,
Yeah, good call in the end. Markstrom's obviously, even though he's been hurt for the last little while, obviously to me the better goaltender. And at the time, I wasn't in favor of that. I was I was fully on the Eddie Lack taco train.
We all love that Eddie
He's
Lack
so
taco
charming.
train.
But no, it looks like they made the right call. Like I feel bad for him. What happened was unfortunate. It sounds like he's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
But
it's always scary.
He ain't playing in the NHL next year anyway. He's going back to Sweden.
You think so?
Yeah.
There's got to be somewhere he could play.
He might get one more chance, but it's going to be a short leash.
Vancouver? No, wait, we have lots of goals. Never mind.
They have too many
Miller's
goalies.
leaving. No, I mean
I could actually see that. That wouldn't be that surprising.
There's a good chance they're gonna sign somebody else. I don't think they'll go Dick Bachman as the backup next year.
Do you think it could be Eddie Lack?
I could see that, and he's
Markstrom
buddies
with Buddy. Yeah, that okay. There, we're starting the rumor.
Did you guys hear what
Lack
I did?
Markstrom back.
It's like we got and a new nickname because Demko is going to be a year away, so he's stopgap Lack.
I like it. Let's make
Filling
this
in the
happen.
Canucks fill the gap with Eddie Lack.
I don't know. I wouldn't even mind. I know he's not playing so hot tonight, but
Lack of gap. We signed Eddie.
Dick Bachman. Can you imagine that? You go Markstrom Bachman next year.
Oh, that smells like a lottery pick to me. I
mean, why? What difference does it make? Bachman's look reasonable as a backup.
He's looked pretty. Like, yeah, you can't blame him for anything that he's done.
No,
Right.
He had that 2-year winning. You know what I feel bad about the Canucks for? We're watching.
You know what I feel bad about all the people that aren't from Vancouver that listen to our show because we've talked about the Canucks for 40 minutes.
I tried to change it, and then we came right back to Vancouver.
Austin Matthews has got 39 goals and is setting all kinds of records.
I'm
We're not
really
talking about that.
Excited about Toronto.
We all are.
Why are you excited about Toronto, Gita?
I always am secretly.
I always.
You got a T-shirt. It's not that secret.
I always secretly do really like watching the Leafs games.
Yeah.
Because they're fire wagon hockey.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I love these Maple Leafs, and it pains me because they're doing literally everything correctly. They're gonna have their team is almost perfect.
They did right back to when they cleaned house and started from scratch.
And
getting rid of that Joffrey loophole.
It seems like they can do everything except play a 60-minute game.
But that's fun.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
And it's like the only weakness is not knowing how to either taking the foot off the gas or just not knowing how to play defense in the third period. But it's so fun to watch.
I picked up.
It is must-see TV.
I picked up an interesting. I shouldn't even bring it up. I picked up an interesting tidbit off the record about the Maple Leafs this week, but I can't say it, but I'll tell you guys after, remind me. But it made me like them even more. So the Maple Leafs are doing
Is it because they traded Frank Corrado?
No, it has nothing to do with trades and stuff. I can't say it. But they're doing everything right, and this sort of goes hand in hand with some of that.
There were a couple of Maple Leaf records that were smashed this week, rookie records. Austin Matthews is the most successful rookie in Leafs history with points. Screw you, Wendell Clark. I think it's like 61 or 62 points in his rookie year.
Okay.
And Mitch Marner, he set a Leafs rookie record for assists for 41 in a rookie year. The person who had that before was Gus Bodner, who played for
in what year?
1943-1944 in a wartime Maple Leafs team.
Oh.
So, I mean, any of us could have gotten points in that wartime teams.
Yeah, you were playing against a bunch of old men and 12-year-old kids.
Yeah, factory workers.
Well, weren't those the years when women were playing in the NHL?
Flames.
Oh, no, we wouldn't let them play in the NHL. That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. You know who else isn't playing hockey right now? You know which women aren't playing hockey? Team Canada.
Are they not?
They lost 2 games at the World Hockey Championships last week.
Really?
No one's talking about this.
Why? What kind of hangover is that?
I don't know, but where is it this year? It's somewhere in the States.
Detroit.
That's right.
They're partying in that hustling and bustling downtown Detroit.
I think the rink's just off at 8 Mile. It's not in the best neighborhood.
So they're eating too much spaghetti. But yeah, no, they lost to the Finns. They got shocked by the Finns.
Okay.
And they lost to the Americans.
Maybe this is what they need going into the Olympics.
A little wake up. Well, they lose the World Championships every year. That's the joke. Canada never wins the World Hockey Championships. The United States always wins.
They weren't going to play.
And then in the Olympics, the Americans always blow it, and Canada somehow wins.
Yeah. So it's fine. It's true to form.
We show up every 4 years. It's all good.
When it matters.
And
the ladies
need to show up because until further notice or until tomorrow morning, they're the main attraction in this country during the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, Paul, what do you think? Is this going to stick, or are they going to get in?
My first thought when I heard about this is it's some kind of ploy. It's always about...
It's not over till it's over?
What does Gary have to do to lose his job?
He's not really doing anything wrong. He's making a lot of money.
He offends a lot of people.
He's representing the majority of owners. The majority of owners don't want to be involved in the current arrangement. If it becomes more fiscally advantageous to them, they'll be okay with it.
They're gargoyles.
And that's what they're working towards right now, where it's a situation where it's not, this multi-billion-dollar effort, the Olympics.
Because every time
the
Gary
NHL
makes a decision, he upsets the fans.
Well, I mean,
But Paul's right, though. It's the forest
the NHL
for the trees.
needs to get more out of the program. Not that I'm saying that they need to.
But it's not necessarily...
But that's what they want, and they hold the cards in this situation because people will watch hockey if it's like a random mishmash of juniors and...
we're not going
lower level professionals.
We're not going to get up at 3:00 in the morning.
You're going to get what
for a wartime effort
for the Spangler Cup.
I'm not going to get up at 3:00 in the morning to watch the Spangler Cup.
The Olympics would wind up being a combination of the Spangler Cup and the World Juniors.
12-year-olds and 45-year-olds. I get it.
Wartime efforts.
It's a wartime tournament. There's a war going on between the IOC and the NHL.
There you go. But it's kind of cool. But overall, it's not going to attract more people outside of the game, and it's not going to be that entertaining to those of us that World Championships every year. We sort of pay attention, but we're not that into it.
Do we? Can I escalate? Can I
keep an eye on it?
Can I escalate this and blow this whole situation way out of proportion?
Yes.
I'm dying to.
Go for it.
In my opinion, the NHL owners and Gary Bettman are holding the game of hockey itself hostage.
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, let's look at what hockey is. It's a game. And to have a game that's on a big stage, you need 2 things. You need players, you need fans. The players want to go. The fans want them to go. It's good for the game. I'm not saying it's good for the NHL. It's good for hockey. Anytime we get to see best on best, and I'm sorry, World Cup, but best on best when the guys live and die by the flag and actually give a shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a summer hockey tournament.
Well, it's funny that
World Cup as opposed to World Championships. Yeah.
How could this be bad for hockey and the NHL? Okay, sure. There's no market in Korea, but there's a lot of markets that will be awake at that time.
Yeah.
That, no, I'm serious.
But they're putting a market in China.
Exactly, and The Chinese will be awake at that time to watch these games.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? The diehards in the northern part of the States and us will get up and watch them.
One of my favorite moments.
And again,
on
it's
this
goodwill.
podcast
It's
history.
goodwill to the fans. Okay, how much money do you need to make off of us? I myself, and I said I was going to escalate this, have come back to you after 4 f***ing work stoppages during my lifetime.
Yeah.
I continue to walk into that rink and feed the beast that kills us all. I fork over my money for merchandise. I fork over my money for tickets. You can shut down your f***ing league every 4 years so I can watch the best players in the world play the Olympics. Go f*** yourselves. That's how I feel.
3 years away from the next shutting down of the league.
You make enough money. The players want to go. The fans want to see it. You owe us that. Get it done. That's all I got to say.
They also just made $500 million from the Vegas Golden Knights, so I don't know what the problem is.
I think it's valid points, and it's a matter of honor.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about that, but we're not talking about honor. Like, we know more than anything, especially in the U.S. political climate right now, like, businesses don't operate according to any sort of code. I mean, some maybe do, but on the whole, big business in the world does things based on dollars. And I know you could say this, and it's meaningful, but it's really, and they know this is their games to play with because they're going to do what they can to be part of Beijing. So if they're going to have bargaining chips, it's this time.
That's bullshit.
You know what I would do if I was the IOC?
business.
I'd be like, fine, you don't go to Korea, you don't go to Beijing. You're done.
See, that would
you don't get to pick and choose your Olympics.
Yeah.
You're in or you're out.
That would be the card to play then.
That's it.
Because it's a matter of, it's jockeying for chips on the table.
Right.
And maybe that's what we're seeing right now.
And what's stopping the NHLPA from, walking out if they don't get to go?
The NHLPA apparently is okay with the current situation.
Yeah,
and some of the owners have already stepped up and made statements saying that if their players want to go, they're welcome back when the tournament's over.
That's McVie. Or no, that's what's his name? And
the owner, Leonsis.
Well, and to be fair,
and there's been a couple others as well.
Okay.
you look at like football around the world. You see that a lot where players are loaned out to international teams and they'll miss time with their professional clubs, and that's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they've figured that out. I'm not a huge football fan. Maybe I'm getting some of it wrong. Yes, soccer. Sorry.
But how come they haven't explored
I don't watch
that
it here. I watch it when I'm in Scotland or England.
They're worried about schedule and all that. That's never been discussed. Is what if they just sucked it up and they kept the league going while the Olympics were going at the same time?
Well, they do for some of them. Like I remember in 2002.
That's when they did the preliminary tournament in Salt Lake City.
Right, you're right.
For Korea, they've already done it. They had it this summer, and there were NHL players
because
in it.
they shut down, and everybody else gets like a free couple of weeks.
And you know what? Hands up, who hates the All-Star game and the All-Star weekend?
Everybody and the players.
My God!
And who forgot about the World Cup immediately after it was over?
They had a Michael Del Zotti USA jersey at Winners for $14
and you bought it?
No, that's a size too small.
Oh.
But they also give the players a week off.
You should have bought it. We could have signed it and sold it.
He's a big fan of the girls who work at Brazzers. We could have sent it off.
What were we even talking about?
I don't.
Gosh.
It's very peculiar to see the NHL players like Babcock vocally upset about this.
Well, because he would have coached that team.
And he's like, I've been there twice. It was the greatest experience of my life.
Yeah.
And Carey Price was like, it's not this. And they asked like, well, what about the World Cup? He's like, it's not the same.
Because there's no tradition there. You're not necessarily with the greatest athletes in the world.
It's stupid, and I think that they should shut down the league for 2 weeks and play. Forget about the All-Star game, which we all hate about. There's our All-Star game. It's over in one of the Koreas.
Pyong, the good of Korea.
That's what they've been doing all those years.
That's debatable.
Goodish Korea,
according to the Koreans.
I don't want to watch a 3-on-3 hungover beer league tourney. I want to watch Connor McDavid play with Sidney Crosby
against Austin Matthews on the biggest stage.
There you go.
And
you know what? Can't they make...
I had my rant, and I'm kind of exhausted by it, but I stand by everything I said. They're holding the game hostage.
Yep.
They're holding the game hostage from the players. They're holding the game hostage from us. The players make a lot of money. I understand that. But it's these owners who are making a lot of money, and they're the ones who are driving the market and willing to pay them. It's their issue. I understand there's insurance and all that and blah, 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 blah.
blah, 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 blah.
Bullshit. Your franchise is still worth a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. It's 2 weeks. Let them go.
And like I said, I mean, like there is the business, and I agree with what you're saying, but there's the business side of it. But the other side within the business conversation is that the NHL keeps talking about how they want to expand the game, how they want to really be properly, as far as North American sports are concerned, in that big four.
But the Olympics are the biggest thing in the States.
Exactly. So you want to talk about like going to China to do exhibition games. You want to talk about all these initiatives they do to share the game internationally.
Right.
The Olympics is the only legitimate time where someone who doesn't care about hockey will care about hockey and then pick up the potential to continue caring about hockey. Because if you're a hockey fan, you might think it's cool that there's a game in China. If you're not a hockey fan, those Kings-Canucks games aren't going to do anything for you.
Come on, Paulie. We're watching the Canucks right now. That's a good-looking team. And
no,
the LA...
Paul's 100% correct.
But yeah, the Olympics are the one opportunity you have where people who couldn't give a shit what you do normally
it's the miracle
ever
it's the miracle on ice factor.
Become the biggest fans in the world, and it is the best sport in the Winter Olympics. I'm a little biased when I say that.
It is.
But I think it's the most commercially viable, sellable item on that list.
Yeah.
And then to forget about that. But I mean, it's bartering, it's playing cards and chips. It could still change. I know it probably won't, but it could.
I'm holding out hope. I'm hoping it does.
Well, it's funny that they said, you have only until the end of April, and then 3 weeks early, like, no, we're not going to do it.
It's an insanely bad decision. It's a laughably, terribly short-sighted decision.
Yeah.
So
it's saving pennies to cost you dollars.
So that. We want them to go to South Korea, and that's that.
We will not watch a single second of World Cup hockey the next time you do the World Cup.
God, that was so boring.
They do it, every 9 years? Sporadically, randomly?
They've got to design a new trophy.
I think there's one starting next week, right?
Yeah, there's one whenever the next lockout is. It's the
World Cup!
We're having a World Cup!
World Cup!
2020.
Gary, these two teams don't even have countries. F it, I got these guys over here. They were in Toronto at the BioSteel camp.
They don't have a country.
You guys,
that Young Stars team.
You guys are Europe. Gary, I'm from Alabama. Jason Magna, it's okay. You're Europe. You're fine. You guys are
sounds European to me.
You guys who went to the club last night, you must be young. You're on the Young Guns team.
I want to
bada bing, bada boom. I'm done.
I want to close out on an email from a longtime listener, former neighbor of Dave, Patreon backer, and he won a Bo Horvat jersey from us, Brady Fox. And he writes in, "Hey guys, oftentimes when I'm watching the Canucks, I have to use the toilet at some point. Do you have any preference or connection with certain bar toilets in Vancouver? Home Johns disallowed. Your friend, Brady."
Like
P.S.
favorite bars
Yeah.
to go to the bathroom in?
Yeah. P.S. I'm out of Canada for work again, and honestly, the podcast is a really nice connection with home. Appreciate you.
I'm going to go...
I like all our listeners, by the way. I know some favoritism was dropped earlier, but you're all amazing.
Sports bar.
I was gonna say sports bar.
Sports bar at Rogers Arena has a very, very nice facility.
It's worth the walk.
But they're new.
It is a long walk, and if you're drunk, you will accidentally wander into the kitchen on your way back.
This doesn't look like a place. And it'll be like,
this isn't where I parked my car.
Next thing you know, with Justin Bieber, you're peeing in the mop bucket. Everything's going to shit.
Yeah, I almost walked into the kitchen on Friday.
Paulie,
I was pretty drunk.
Paulie, what about you?
You're not gonna like it because you don't like this establishment.
Oh,
is it a Donnelly Group place?
I don't think so.
They all are.
Tap and Barrel across the street from, the tower that shall not be named.
Oh, they got a good bathroom?
Their bathrooms are just like individual rooms.
So
there's not like a group one. And you don't need that, but it's kind of nice to just be able to...
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I've never had to use it for extended lengths of time, but if you had to, it'd be a nice... And there's like a TV in there. They're really nice.
The distillery also in Yaletown is a very nice bathroom.
We talked about this last night.
Were you guys at the distillery?
No, I showed Gita the question, and she had a colorful response as to why she likes the distillery.
Well, it's reasonably clean. It's communal or co-ed or whatever. It's probably the only place you can have sex in a bathroom in Yaletown.
MPC's bathrooms are pretty good for that too.
Yeah, but we can't all access that.
That's true.
You need an access card.
Yeah.
Dave will hook you up.
I will.
Bro,
Gotta sign 6 NDAs.
Unrelated.
I'm in.
I was in a great bathroom in the Moxies in Kamloops. They have individuals And then
That's fancy for Kamloops.
yeah, big fan. Big
Moxie's
time fancy.
Moxie's a big anniversary spot in Kamloops.
I had one story though about bathrooms when I was in Hawaii and I drove to the North Shore to eat shrimp from a truck. My stomach wasn't agreeing with me.
Yeah, because you were eating shrimp from a truck.
Just eating shrimp from a truck and just whatever. And so
it wasn't even a food truck.
No, it was just a pickup truck, and there were some locals there, and the shrimp was moderately iced. And I needed to go to the bathroom, and I see like this crudely drawn bathroom sign with an arrow to point to this like shack with a lineup. And I was like, oh god, like this is when you have to go to the bad bathrooms and you're.
But I don't have to go right now.
So I I'm just like, this is gonna be one of those moments where I'm just gonna be. Just grin and bear it. And it's like this shack run down. Like the door is barely on one. I go inside. Fantastic facilities.
Oh.
It was so
surgical level facilities.
It was very clean, rustic, but not dirty.
Yeah.
And I just like to say, don't judge a bathroom based on if it's a shack with a not 100% functioning door.
My friend Zach runs a great Instagram account here in Vancouver. You should give it a follow. The Poo Review.
Oh yeah.
Where he rates and reviews public toilets.
Oh, I never shared mine.
Oh.
It's the Blends on Granville Street.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet that one gets a lot
That's
of
across
use.
from the Moose.
That sounds like a fentanyl hotspot.
No, it's actually when I was in my younger days when we would frequent the Royal in the cellar. It was actually probably the cleanest public bathroom on that street, like way better than any of the clubs.
Really?
Yeah.
The dirtiest one I've ever seen, if I'm going the other way.
Is it the Roxy?
No, the Met.
Oh yeah, it has the trough, and it always
so bad.
No,
it's like calcified urine on the walls.
Roxy bathroom is bad.
The Roxy bathroom is flooded.
There's always someone throwing up in the sink.
And there's because
it's always
people,
Ryan.
and there's always people doing. No, I throw up on the ground. There's always somebody throwing up in the sink or the garbage can because people are doing coke in the one stall in the men's room.
The Roxy's kind of over. Has anybody else noticed that it's completely done? I had a late night on Friday night with my coworkers at Rogers Arena, but then we ended up at the Soho in Yaletown.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I walked to the SkyTrain. I walked to Granville to get the Expo line, and I had to go up Granville Street.
What day was this?
Friday night.
Okay.
Which I never do. And it was about 12 o'clock. And no line, and I swear to God, they were like begging people to come inside.
The old Stone Temple
so
treatment.
I just stuck my head kind of like around the corner to see if it was. Oh, it'll be packed to the gills inside.
You should be, yeah.
It didn't really look like it.
Huh.
No, it's over.
It's over because we're all old now and we don't go out anymore.
Why? I don't know.
That was our bar. That was our generation's bar.
Yeah.
See, I've always heard the Roxy referred to as like an older person than us bar.
It is.
None
And
of
now
my
they're
friends,
really old.
none of my friends ever wanted to go to the Roxy.
The thing is, when we were the ones saying that it's an older person's bar. Now we're those older people.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Yeah.
we have Netflix now.
Yeah.
I guess like
we ain't going up in the club and getting tipsy. I can't remember the
I
last.
want to go out on Fridays.
I can't remember the last time I was in a nightclub. Honestly, maybe Jason Stagg.
I was in the I think the last time I was in a club was
And it was the Roxy.
Last club I was in was the Roxy, and it was in June when I went to a BC Lions preseason game. And longtime listener and guest on the podcast, Cole, he'd never been before, and I said, "Well, I guess we're going."
Oh.
How was it?
I was so fucking hungover. Holy shit! It was okay. It was okay. It was a good crowd.
I do have to run back to the office, but I'll leave you guys with this. I had an epiphany.
Yeah.
I went to my first Whitecaps game on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Time of your life?
I gotta say, I had the time of my life.
Oh.
Now it was a 4-2 soccer game, which is pretty weird.
And you were at the Canucks Kings game the night before.
So I was dying for entertainment. I was an easy mark for those Whitecaps dollars, let me tell you. No, great crowd. A younger, hipper crowd.
Yeah.
Kind of what the Canucks used to be. All the beautiful people are at the soccer game.
Right.
I managed to get a beer for $7.
was it
was
like
nice.
Was it on the floor or something? Why
Yeah,
was
it
it
was
so
a floor.
cheap?
No, it was a floor. beer.
Bathroom beer.
No, it was a Budweiser, but it only cost me $7, and that's
Yeah.
fine. And we had just a nice day overall. We went to Library Square before. I had a currywurst and some fries.
Oh.
Okay.
And it was just a great. People are singing when the goalie kicks the ball. They all go, "You fat bastard!" It's just. It's a good time.
Are you suggesting that the Canucks should maybe kind of put an ear to their door and see what they're doing right? Well, no, keep the South Side. It all
seems very. You just beat me to the punch. It all seemed very organic.
Okay.
Meaning that the fans were driving the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the franchise is reacting to it in a nurturing way. Like the fans are coming up with their own traditions and their own schemes, but the franchise is going, we're going to play along with it. And one example is a longtime colleague of me and Ryan's, Don Andrews. We worked with him forever at all kinds of different stuff. So the fans like to chant the last name of the player after they score. So now what Don does is he only announces the first name.
Oh.
And then the fans chant the last name. He says the first name again. They chant the last name. He says the first name again. They chant the last name. And then he waits an impossibly long time and just goes, thank you. It's so much fun.
That's awesome.
So like a guy like Marcus Latta scored a goal. He's like, Marcus. And the crowd goes, Latta, Marcus, Latta, Marcus. Latta. And then he goes, thank you. It's a lot of fun. I don't know.
Fun.
It's a culture with the sport thing because I know the Canucks have had the Southsiders and have alienated them because they told them to sit down during the play and not chant. Then they've had fans since then start chatting, and I remember talking to some people in the press box that were kind of like, "Oh, that's inappropriate. You're not supposed to be doing that during the play." What? I mean, sure, do it. Exactly, and I love it. I've been to football, soccer games in the UK.
Football.
I love the singing. They pick random old pop songs and stuff and sing all the lyrics to them.
Right.
There's an amazing atmosphere. I don't know if it would convert fully to hockey.
The crowd was singing Savage Garden out of nowhere. And it was awesome.
But we shouldn't discourage it, and they should really encourage the moments like late in the Canucks game when they sing like
Don't Stop Believin'.
Don't Stop Believin' or Bon Jovi and encourage those fan participation moments and let that build organically, but with maybe a little bit of help and not discouragement at the very least.
Well, my pucks on net dude of the week is the Vancouver Whitecaps brass for just getting out of the way and letting it happen.
So I'll tweet that and then see if we can get free tickets. So Vancouver Whitecaps.
It's a good time. I'm not a big
sponsorship.
Yeah.
I don't know who any of your players are, but I was thoroughly impressed with your product.
All right. Well, on that positive
I had a great time.
Well, I'll wrap it up. Dave, make sure you take a 540 pen.
As requested.
Yeah, I stole a whole lot of them. Now that's
a good looking pool, by the way.
Oh, it's nice. It's shallow. It's only about 5 feet, but it's good for a little drunken little dip. And it's heated. We didn't talk about this at the top of the podcast, but this is a new promotion this week. If you haven't done, it's a good click. If you haven't donated yet to the,
I carry one in my purse.
The 540 pen.
Yeah.
If you haven't pledged to our Patreon page yet, this isn't for everybody, but if you donate $5 this week, first person that does it, that's a new backer, I will send you a Hotel 540 pen. Now, these are the talk of the WHL and Shaw crew. Everybody takes them. We raid the place. They're the best pens, and I give them to everybody. So I'll send you a 540 pen. If you don't know about the 540 pen, I think I'll try and find the episode. It was a couple of years ago, but I'll send you a pen and help because I'm feeling generous.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the post office in a while.
I'm really excited about this pen.
Yeah, it's a good pen.
I got one earlier.
I filled out all my customs cards with it.
Oh, yeah.
So, if you pledge $5, I'll send you a pen. And hell, if you pledge $5, I'll send you a Pucks on Net puck too. So, first person to do that gets a pen and a puck. And that's coming from me out of the post office.
Pen and a puck.
Pen and a puck for first person to pledge $5 donation. And other than that, if you want to support the show, do that on patreon.com/pucksonnet, or you can subscribe and rate and review on iTunes. And for the love of God, rate and review us positively and leave us a comment. It helps helps us against that horrible Steve Jobs algorithm, and it means the world to us.
The man ate fruit at every meal.
He's
weird.
He's a bit of a jerk.
Apples.
God rest his soul. You can also like us on Facebook.
I didn't even think that was clever.
It was funny. Facebook, Instagram, all that jazz. Follow us on Twitter at Pucksnet, Sierra Pucksnet Ka. And Paul, we forgot to do this. Paul and I were invited to go on Roundhouse Radio 2 weeks ago, and we had the road show. And
no whistles.
It was great. Did
you
you listen?
No.
The link's on the website.
He doesn't want to listen.
I was in Ottawa. What do I care?
But
you were away. No, you weren't. You were.
I was home. I just didn't listen.
But anyway, we thought that they just scoured. It was the Janice and Corey show.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we thought that they just scoured Twitter or Google for like Vancouver podcasts. And like, well, these are the first people to respond.
We'll grab these two jabrones.
Yeah, these two turkeys looks like they can squawk 8 minutes.
Game time decision wasn't available. They're not allowed out on a school night.
They live in the suburbs.
And yeah, exactly. Oh, we asked game time decision, but
Two bridges.
Yeah, we're not paying the Palm Trio.
Bridge and tunnel.
Yeah, we ain't paying Trio. So, but it actually, a friend of Corey's listens to us every week, and he got a positive review from him. So that's how he reached out to us. So I forget his name. Do you remember it?
But thanks,
Did he tell
friend
us
of
who it
Corey.
was?
Anyway, what's his last name? Corey Ainsworth? Ashworth. Whoever that is that recommended us, email us, pucksandnet@shaw.ca, and I'll get a puck out to you.
Thank you.
And that'll wrap for this week's podcast. Dave's going to leave, but we'll stick around for 5 minutes for paying. And that starts right now on patreon.com/pucksonnet.
I'll see you, kids.
Bye, Dave.
Unless Drew Doughty punches you or your son.
Fuck, move,